Remix. 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 Remix.
Welcome out to the Remix Morning Show, right here on Black Liberation Media. In case you didn't know, I go by the name of the Ear Doctor, ready to bring you that boom bap breakfast right here, right now. Freestyle. This is how we do. Meanwhile, let me introduce you to your host with the most. She goes by the name of Jackie Lookman. And burn it down, Kip Brad. We made it. We made it. Yeah.
That's a nice vibe to start with. I like it.
Nice little vibe, right?
Yeah.
We're getting ready for the day. That was as you can see, a little something off Supreme Clientele album, Tony Starks, aka Ghostface, aka Iron Man. All right. What's good, everybody? Is my computer slow?
It's Thursday.
Among other things, yes.
Yeah. Among others.
This energy right here that's starting off this morning with Kim Brown, boy, I tell you. I'm not even used to seeing her till at least 1 minute before 8. I didn't even expect to see nobody, so she comes early and wants me to start, doing some work.
Dang, it's 8:04 already. We got the shade on. Must we set a new record for the early deployment of shade?
Talk to her, Jackie.
I'm not talking to her. I'm talking
What?
to you.
She started. Oh my God! Sound like little kids.
I'm not going to be. Let me hit you with my best Glenn Close. I'm not going to be ignored, Naka. I'm not going to be ignored. I'm sitting here talking, yammering for God's sake. Naka ain't looked down at the screen. He ain't looked up. He ain't looked over. And I'm like,
I was on the whole screen. I didn't even know the screen. Anybody was on the screen. That's what I'm saying. I didn't even know you was here.
Yeah,
that's how I work.
I'm with you, Kim.
Welcome to how I work in the morning.
Licking off shots, you drop me back down to this cold world.
That's how you treat her. I saw it. That's how you treat her. That's how you treated her.
I'm still trying to wake up. I did an open mic last night.
Hey, how'd the open mic go?
Oh,
not the deep exhale. Yeah, and that's when the story starts off with an exhale.
Big up to Marcel P. Black, who always says, "Don't rhyme over your vocals." Oh
no
my
rapping
God.
over vocals.
Rapping over vocals, man. It's just like, come on, y'all. Why don't y'all get this shit together before y'all leave the house?
Okay, so what
people the lack of artistry build up nowadays. Everybody just want to jump on YouTube or social media and become a superstar. They don't put in the work. Back in my day, we would have rehearsals. We would learn our songs. We would be rhyming them while we on the bus, while we on the train, to ourselves, and making sure once we get to the venue, just play the beat. That's all I need, and I'm a wreck shop.
Back in the day. Now you sound like a crotchety old man. You sound like a crotchety old hip hop OG. That's what
I'm a curmudgeon.
A what? That's not what.
We know CH in curmudgeon.
You just took that word in a whole nother direction.
Hip hop slang, baby.
I keep trying to avoid this lane, and somehow you keep getting us down. You keep taking us down this damn street, and I know it's intentional. I know you mean it.
I've been listening to a lot of hip hop slang, man. Slang masters.
Too early in the morning for this. The weather is cooling down. It's not hot. We can't be doing this early in the morning. I can't.
All right, so I got a question then. So, how much perfume is too much? I mean, like,
what kind of
Cause I still listen. I wore this shirt last night, right?
And you
know, I
still
thought-
smell somebody.
And- like, do you do the spray in the air and walk through the mist, or do you do the on? See me, I got oil. I got an oil that I made. It's a mixture of like Arabian musk, African musk, mixed with a little bit of white diamond. A nice little mixture that I'd be like, bam, bam, hit right here, and bam, and that's it.
Jackie, he
Yeah.
said white diamonds like Liz Taylor, like my granny used to wear white
Yeah,
diamonds.
yeah,
Wait a
yeah.
minute. Wait.
Speaking of
are we
back in the
talking
day,
about
come out.
Liz in the 80s back in the day? Liz with the modern day pirate commercial back in the day.
Y'all don't know about that white diamond, boy. That shit be
Man.
smelling.
Y'all remember that commercial though? Remember the commercial she had for White Diamond where she is like all decked out because she's, she was
Liz
Elizabeth
Taylor.
Taylor, so of course she's gonna be, but she's like on a beach somewhere, and some piratey like criminal shady dude comes and does like a drive-by diamond drop off or whatever, and then the voiceover is like White Diamonds, Elizabeth Taylor, and she's sitting
See,
like this, on this
the key-
beach with this diamond, and then the perfume bottle. It was so weird.
See, the key is to wear what women like.
Women like white diamonds?
Yeah, white diamonds?
Yes.
Yes. Listen, I used to have a kiosk in the mall selling oils and stuff, and I was one of the biggest sellers. And it was, instead of selling them for $5, we sold them for $10, and they would come and
When
get
did
it.
you have this job? I mean, God, I've never heard of this. I've not heard of this job. The kiosk,
Listen,
the mall.
man, when
This
my
is
book
new?
come out,
Where this
huh?
at? Where was this at?
It was in one was first started in South Lake Mall, then it was one in Union City Mall and Cumberland Mall.
Out here,
Mall.
then, out here in Atlanta.
Yeah.
It was like weed. You were selling weed.
There you go, man. Why can't I strive for better, man? Why you always keeping the black
I'm just
man
trying to
down?
figure it out. I'm just trying to figure it out. That's all.
You selling
Always keeping the
perfume
black
and then the
man-
special perfume?
Like underneath the perfume, there's a little dispatch, little thing.
See, I sold oils, incense, handcrafted jewelry, mixed CDs. Listen, man, I'm enterprising young fella. You know what I'm saying?
Does that stuff make good money? At
Yeah.
times? Oh, it does. It's good.
Yeah, especially during the holidays. What? They keep the mall open longer too. It's terrible though. Anyway, enough of my life. How y'all doing?
What is it? Decor? Like what was the it came in a little black thing. Was it Decor? What was the name of that thing?
Jacques Noir.
Car?
Yeah,
Decor.
yeah. That was the
Yeah.
thing of
Oh
That's what
yeah,
What was the
Jacques
name of
Noir.
it?
Jacques Noir.
Yeah.
yeah. That was
But
the
if you was
only cologne
French,
I've
you would
ever
say
worn in my
Jacques
life.
Noir.
Yeah,
What? No, French and oh Jesus.
that was the only cologne I ever wore for like 3 months. I do a little dab,
Yeah,
Yeah, that
African
was
French.
yeah.
African
What
French.
was it?
No, but to answer your question, yeah, when you can smell somebody's perfume after they have left your
Oh
presence,
my God,
that's too much perfume.
too much,
it's-
right?
It's definitely way too much perfume. It's like a toxic level of perfume. If you can still smell the person's perfume on your clothes the next day, that
Yeah,
person needs to be talked to. They're poisoning people.
they
Yeah.
are.
Themselves and the earth. Yeah, I feel like even even when you're in the room with them and you can smell them like they're 5 feet away from you. I'm not crazy about that. Yeah, just to let y'all know, that's not a good smell. I'm not a big perfume person, actually.
And all my Mexican brothers and sisters,
Please
patchouli,
don't. Stop.
patchouli is not it.
Hey, stop.
Patchouli oil,
Cut it out. Stop.
patchouli oil is not it.
Why do you
But
think
why are we
only
Mexicans,
Mexicans?
Mexicans though? I know why mad people of all kinds of racial denominations that rock patchouli. Why Mexicans?
Come on, why do you let him do these things? You know,
It's for that. It's for my.
Okay, so if I said black people,
laugh.
enough with the Egyptian musk. Y'all wouldn't have a problem with that. But I know who always comes and buys patchouli. The Mexicans.
Who
Thank
buys
you
the
very much.
Egyptian musk?
Only black people wear Egyptian musk. You don't see no
Wrong.
white person say, "Oh, give me some Egyptian musk." Fuck out of here. Come on, man. Stop playing with me in my face. I be knowing what's going on in this world. Y'all be
I had
inside
a
reading
chin
books.
snort. I
Oh
got
my God, you have lived in the hood your whole damn life, so you ain't never seen white people buying nothing because they ain't where you at.
They're not your customers.
Right.
That's right. That's right. They're not your customers.
You don't know what white people buy.
That is
They buying
correct.
Egyptian musk.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
All the white people in the chat.
And
What did y'all wear in
patchouli,
the
white
80s?
people, white hippies cannot live without patchouli.
The
Cannot.
four
live,
white
they
people in
can't
our chat.
exist.
What did y'all wear in the 80s? Where y'all at? Where the four white people at? Tell us. What y'all wore in the 80s?
They was wearing white diamonds and poison.
That was it? A poison?
Poison.
Not, I mean, actual Elizabeth Taylor. Didn't she have a fragrance called Poison also?
Somebody had a fragrance called it. There was a fragrance called Poison. I
Yes.
can't remember if it was Elizabeth Taylor's, but yeah, it was. There was a perfume called Poison. Yep.
And then we made it to the 90s. We were wearing Calvin Klein Eternity.
Why are perfume commercials like these representations of existential, like whatever?
Calvin Klein's Obsession.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember the Calvin Klein. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Welcome to the rabbit hole. I just brought y'all down.
You will bring
yeah.
us down. You ain't lied about that, sir.
I'm
Easily.
telling you.
Too easily. Take it down.
I think this show is about teaching and talk about certain things. So yeah, spray it in the air. Spray it in the air and walk through it, ladies. Don't.
Is that what you said? Is that
douse
really what
yourself.
you're supposed to do? Are you supposed to really do that? Anybody who's a perfume expert? You're supposed
I
to
mean,
do that?
but isn't there different applications for eau de parfum as opposed to eau de toilette, right?
Oh, an expert.
Girl,
Thank
look at
you.
you.
I
Keep
know.
talking.
Hey, I'm a little bougie, a little teeny, just a smidge bougie amongst all my unrefinery. I do have a tiny bit of bougie in here, but eau de parfum, you don't need to wear as much as opposed to eau de toilette. See, that's the thing. I think niggas be dousing themselves in the eau de toilette. They be doing too much with the toilet water.
That's my thing. I don't trust certain things. I don't trust people
What's
that
up?
wear too much perfume or
What do you mean you
cologne
don't trust
and people and men that shave their whole face. Those are two things I don't trust.
Well, wait a minute. What do you mean you don't like trust? Like what? You don't lend them money?
Like
You
I don't believe you. I believe that you're trying to hide something. You're trying to hide your real scent.
Okay.
And when you shave your whole face off, you're trying to hide your age, or you trying to look like the part of somebody like you want to be.
So all
You feel that?
clean-shaven men or clean-shaven? Yeah, clean-shaven.
Who are they trying to impress by shaving their whole face?
What?
I've been hearing this more. You know what? But I've been hearing this more lately from both women and men about the clean-shaven thing not being trustworthy.
Especially black men. No, sorry.
Don't trust them. What's your boy running for mayor up there? Not mayor, but
Talk to him. Yes, that nigga West Melonhead, Governor
West
Cantaloupe Head.
Oh, well, that's not his problem that he got a clean shaven face. His problem is he a neoliberal black misleader. That's what the problem is.
well,
But
he's
I
wearing
think
an outfit.
Exactly. He has to assume
face.
he has to assume the form, right? So
Yeah.
start off by a clean shaven face. Don't you dare trust a black man with no hair on his face. Unless that nigga is in recovery from something. That nigga going to okay. That's it. That's it.
Damn.
That's it. Don't trust him.
Hey, that's what it is.
I don't know.
Kamal,
All
you
right.
became more trustworthy when you let your shit grow out.
Yeah,
Look how
definitely.
community movement builders flourished when your face.
Oh, when I had a bigger beard, when it's a smaller beard. I've had facial hair most of my life. Even when I cut it down, it's never gone. But people who have complained, those who care have complained the lower my beard gets. So,
So is this a thing too? What Ricky is saying about the bobs and pixie cuts for women?
Listen here.
No,
I'm
you can't.
sorry.
Those are the black politician women.
It's too, especially for the black female politicians. That there is something about that bob that signals authoritarianism. There's a little bit. There's something about that bob on a black woman politician that screams cop. That's how they act. It's an unfortunate a little trend that seems to be emerging with all the black female mayors that we've had. But I don't know. I don't know that I don't trust black men with no facial hair. I do have suspicions about black men with messy beards. Like, if your beard is not connecting, what are you doing wrong? And why are you still trying? Just stop.
That could be genetics.
If you're a certain age and your stuff is still not connecting, it's not gonna happen, baby. Anthony Hamilton, I love you, but stop.
Oh, see.
I love you. I love you.
Go get a Philly barber. A Philly barber would connect that right together with some ink and some dye.
With some of that zing.
If you don't know the technician to go to help you out with that, stop trying to will those pieces to go. Let it go. Just like this up here, and you're holding on to a little piece of
holding on.
Let it go. Let it go. I have so much more respect for you when you realize that your relationship with your hair is not the same as it used to be, and you need to set better boundaries and just shave it off. Just stop trying to make it do things it's not gonna do.
I recommend going to Philadelphia and letting the barbers put their artistry all over you, gentlemen. If your shit ain't connecting up top or on your face, let them Philly youngins, let them Philly Jones hook you up. They're gonna ink it all together. They're gonna ink it all together.
I'm not opposed. But the scraggly, ruffian looking, struggle beard, stop it. Especially when you over 40, stop. Come on. Come on. If you're 20, I get it. You don't know what your own face is doing. Okay, I understand. But if you 40, 50, and you still got the scruggle beard and this your hair masses are not connected, stop. Let it go, honey.
Well, welcome to the Remix grooming session. Thank y'all for all coming through. Hopefully you getting y'all right and know how to step outside when you step outside. All right. So listen, I think my computer's running slow. There's a lot of things going on over here. But let's go ahead and take a break.
Holding on.
This computer is holding. My internet is holding on. All right, let's just let them sing and take it off. Remix Morning Show. Keep going, ladies.
When your beard is gone.
No, ain't shit. Remix on the remix. Let me get my camera right, man. I don't know what's going on over here. Let me take y'all back.
If you're gonna sell, then don't be a fool. Organize your money and open up a store. Drug dealer. Understand historical fact. Every race got it from selling drugs except black. We are under attack. Here's another cold fact. In the 30s and 40s, a drug dealer wasn't black. They were Jewish, Italian, Irish, Polish, etc., etc. Now in 90, their lives a lot better. They'll sell you a sweater, a pair of pants, cold-hearted. But first selling drugs and killing people's how they started. Drug dealer, black and Hispanic. Stop killing one another, cause in the ghetto we're all brothers. Organized economically, understand the psychology. America is a drug monopoly. They own the block you kill your brother for. Therefore, we got the same enemy once more. I go on tour, or who do you think picks up the bill? A hard-working fireman? Chill.
All right, let me take you to a time and place. Let me take you back to 1992. My man KRS-One off his album Sex and Violence. The name of that song is Drug Dealer. Mixed with a little bit of 2007. We're talking about Fabuloso with his song Make Me Better featuring Neo. And the name of that album is From Nothing to Something. All right, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, go to patreon.com, become a member over there, get footage that's rare, and donate where? At blkliberationmedia.org. Yes, go get you some merch, go show your love so we can keep this thing going. We are demonetized, and that is what allows us to do what we are doing and bringing you the messages we are bringing you. So this is how we keep this thing going. All right, thank y'all, and let's get back to it right here on the Remix Morning Show. Let's go.
You make me better. 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 beside every great man.
Beside every great man is two women like Kim Brown and Jackie Lou.
Well, that's what Neo says, right? Neo got about 4 women, don't he?
Yeah, he should. Why not?
Oof.
Shit, he taking
Man.
care of them.
Way too many. One can
I don't
be too
see
many.
why. I don't see why we raise certain things in African culture and be like, oh, but then when we look at polygamy, it's like, whoa.
Oh no, I'm just curious why anybody would want to share Neo. I'm not judging. I'm not judging the polyamory. No judgment. But if we're sharing niggas, why y'all want to share that nigga?
All that money that man, them checks he get from writing, and they taken care of. That's what it's about. It's somebody taking care of multiple people, and them also being able to take care of him when he has his needs.
I need to see the paperwork. I need to know that that's actually happening.
Well, let me stop. No. Nope. Nope.
You was about to be messy, Jackie. You was about to be messy. Oh shit! I used to want to be a polygamist, but I ain't got enough money.
I can see that.
All right, I'll check y'all
That
later.
makes perfect sense. And of course, everybody wants to be a polygamist, and nobody wants to follow the rules. Nobody understands that there are rules to there. And the people who want to be polygamists can't. They cannot. They broke.
You said you're broke.
Can't afford it. I mean, it's real talk. When I found out exactly what a Muslim man is to provide for his wife within the bounds of Islam, it's a lot, right? Like, it's not a little bit. And I assure you, a majority of y'all aren't doing this for your wives and aren't able to do these things for your wives. No shade, no shots. It's just the real talk. So imagine having to do that for more than one woman. Y'all niggas would never make it.
And even, I mean, at the way plural marriage is conducted in many societies, the wives, each wife has to have her own house.
Own shit.
You
Their
cannot.
own house?
Yes. that the husband must provide. If the husband wants to have more than one wife, in many cultures, not just in Islam, it's not just a religious thing, but in many cultures that do practice that or allow it, there are rules. Like you can't have, but I'm most familiar with Islam. You can't have multiple wives and everybody is living in the same house. You cannot do that. And that is the dictate for the man. So the woman, but even in Islam, the idea of, if we're going to go back to tradition, even the idea of the man providing a dowry is intended to be a guarantee for the woman that if something goes wrong, she is not left destitute. So the dowry a man presents has to be valuable. So it has to be enough so that if he starts acting like a fool and she needs to get rid of him, she ain't got to go back to her parents' house.
Down with the patriarchy. Let's get down with the patriarchy. Oof.
So for polygamy, for if a man wants to have more than one wife, he has to be able to provide a home for every one of those wives. And he must sustain those homes. If all of his wives have his children, he got to support all of those kids in those separate homes. He cannot favor one wife or one family over the other. He cannot deprive one wife or one family from what the others get. Yeah, there's this hierarchy thing that goes on among the wives, first wife, second wife, whatever, new wife. But the responsibility for taking care of everybody in his household is on the man. So people just stop. I tell people all the time, you sure you want to be polygamous? You sure? Because it's not what you think it is.
No, I don't think that's not the American black man's desires to be.
No, it isn't.
No,
100% not. No,
No.
he wants women. He
Let me
wants the
Let me,
women.
word. Let me speak up for the American black man,
Speak up
the
for
black man born in the America. We are not interested in, most
Right.
of us are not interested in all that.
Mm,
Be careful what you ask for.
mhm.
Even the political ones who claim they want to go back, they don't realize, most don't realize that.
They don't. I mean, even what are they? The Mormons, the FDLS, the ones who believe
Oh,
in
yeah. Don't
yeah,
don't they live in the same house? They got provided
no,
separate houses too?
no, they cannot.
Mhm.
No.
Mm.
He has to provide a house for each wife and each family.
Mm.
Yeah. Have you
Yeah.
ever seen that there used to be a series on HBO called Big Love? And it
It
was
was
about
great.
yeah, it was pretty good. It took me a minute to get into it, but it was about a Mormon family that they were involved in a whole lot of shady shit, which believe it or not, they kind of are.
We believe it.
But a lot of yeah, they got
Stole
there's
the whole territory of Utah.
it's, I listen,
Don't do that shit.
I
To
would not
praise to
fuck with those
God.
people. I would not fuck with those people. They can
Got
they
lots of
can
space to make shit disappear.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, the FDL they're very other than the what was that man's name? Leonard Jeffs, the cult leader with the 87 wives and married little girls and whatnot. But in traditional Mormonism, for folks who participate in plural marriage, each wife and each family has to have their own house. So these kind of folks live in like compounds where everybody's house is near each other. Every Warren Jeffs, thank you, Elon. All of the wives' houses are near each other. Now, husband has access to everybody's house, but everybody has to have their own home. So y'all don't want that.
Yeah,
Y'all
that's
don't
the
want
deal
no
breaker.
polygamy.
There's
You
the deal
don't.
breaker. There's the deal breaker. I gotta provide.
You
That's
don't.
the deal breaker.
Why
But I do get my
though?
own. I get my own house out the deal too, right?
Well, you
You
Like
get
none
to
of the
can't. No, the
wives
lay
get the
husband is
house.
not living by himself.
You get
The
to
husband
lay.
usually lives with the first wife.
Oh damn. Okay, never mind.
Hey, and the lesson is marriage is a scam. Tell a friend. Welcome to the Remix Morning Show. It is a scam. It's a scam. It's a scam. Ask all the divorced people, is marriage a scam? They'll tell you yes.
I didn't mean
Giant.
to be rude, but I had to restart my computer, so I just wanted to get that over with.
Was that?
That's
So what's the
sure.
reason the other days?
Okay,
Whatever.
right. Like
Every other time you interrupt, you restarting the computer. Is that what we calling it these days? I see. Welcome, Mr. Remix Morning Show, Thursday edition, everybody, on this glorious 28th day of August 2025.
mhm.
It's Jackie Lukman, Kamal K. Franklin, Kim Brown, Burn It Down. What's up, everybody? Ear Doctor in the cut, pushing buttons on some shit. Early this morning.
Usual.
On is Charlie Wilson. Get up early in the morning. Find me another.
lover.
So we're gonna get
Get
up
up
early in the morning.
early in
Shout
the
out to Charlie
morning.
Wilson, y'all. I mean, a lot of these elders are still on tour. They saying Gladys Knight is wandering off in the middle of the night. That's not a cute
What?
situation.
Oh no! Really?
Wait a minute.
I'm sorry, y'all not heard that. Let me
I didn't
No.
know that about Gladys.
Okay,
No.
I'll be brief. So her son went to the Shade Room. You guys know what the Shade Room is, right? The Shade Room, young black gossip, I suppose. But anyway, so her son, one of her children, went to the Shade Room and revealed that his mother was discovered. I can't remember what town it was, but she had left the hotel because she's on tour or was on tour with Patti LaBelle. It was Gladys, Patti, and who else? With Shaka Khan. So they was on tour, and apparently Miss Gladys had wandered off from the hotel that which she was staying and wandered to another hotel where one of the workers there recognized her and was one of her fans, and in a brief conversation deduced that Miss Gladys did not know where she was. She didn't know where she was supposed to be. The worker at the hotel got her cell phone, called her son, And her son is, going public now, very concerned, thinking that his mother is being exploited by her husband, who was also her manager. They've been married for over 20 some years, but the allegations is that maybe Miss Gladys is not in the right frame of mind to be touring at this point of her life. But she says she's fine. They released a statement. Her and her husband released a statement saying, she's cool, but
Her husband released a statement saying that she's cool.
That is correct. Yes.
Yes, of course he did.
We didn't see Gladys on tape saying, "Hey, I'm cool."
Right. Fine.
Yeah.
Hi,
But
it's
she's
Gladys.
performing apparently.
Fine.
But she remembers her songs enough to get up and perform.
Sometimes, yes, the son claims that she does get lost sometimes on stage, or
Oh,
she'll get
wow.
lost reading the prompter or something along those lines. But y'all, I mean, how many generations of our artists are we going to see literally perform on stage with one foot on a banana peel and the other one
Others.
Yeah. I saw a
near
lot
the
of work
grave?
with Stephanie Mills. Somebody said Stephanie Mills was also on the tour
Thank
because
you.
she got to corral Gladys and she got to corral Shaka.
Oh, wow.
So I feel like Stephanie is doing yeoman's work on this tour right now. She's got to bring all the sister girls together to stay in their places and all that kind of stuff.
Stephanie Mills is a real one out here.
Yeah, exactly. Stephanie Mills is
That versus woo. Stephanie could have left sis out there out on a limb like Tina Marie, but no, she was doing the you said
she
yeoman's
did the
work.
best. Yeah, she did the best for her friend. Yeah.
And that's respect. That was
Big time.
respect. That was beautiful to see. But I feel about these elder artists still touring the same way I feel about every time I see, a senior citizen at Walmart working. Like what I know you love it. I know, but I also know that a lot of them are not touring just because they love it. They're touring because they have to make money.
Yeah, no, they're
Because
trying to maintain a certain lifestyle. Yeah.
Yeah, they have to make money. And
which also speaks to life choices that when they had the money, like where it went and all that kind of good stuff, and trying to keep up with the Joneses, as they say, and then it's all gone kind of thing.
But don't also omit the fact that our people get scammed and ripped off quite a bit in bad contracts. Like it's not all exorbitant.
No, you're right. You're right. No, you're right.
Yeah, because I was going to say also that this really should cause us to look at the more particularly Black artists that we're still seeing. Because look, these rock bands, the Rolling Stones, these people have done so much drugs. We know where their money went.
Yeah.
So.
But they're getting like, oh yeah, I mean, so I do have a little personal responsibility thing in me. Oh yes, definitely. There's a little bit of that in me, that conservative thing around. I don't believe a good organizer, revolutionary can be all that good if they can't take care of themselves. And I don't know if that's a conservative bent or whatever, but I'm kind of like, you got your hand out too much as organs. That sounded conservative too. I get a little worried about what you're gonna be able to give to movement or what you're here for. So I fully admit that. And I think even revolutionary practices and principles talks about, like, folks in general having to have some responsibility and some discipline. So I believe in a little discipline in life. I'm not out here thinking, I'm not the post-communist revolutionary person who's all about, no work and like everything's leisure time. It's like, well, maybe we should get there first before we start taking all that leisure time now. So y'all are right about that. I will take that ding, because there's a little bit of me that's like, you know what? Get like, are you doing anything? A lot of complaining, but are you doing anything? So
hey, look at you, do for self.
I'm a little bit. I got a little bit of that in me.
I don't think there's anything wrong with do for self. Actually, like you should. You're able to do for self as much as you are able to do.
But I also agree with the other thing. I mean, like you said, artists and all the rest of it. I mean, the reason the Stones, they get like billions of dollars when they tour, right?
Yes.
I'm sure Gladys and all of them put together, they're not splitting that kind of money, right? They're not splitting that kind of money.
That's why it's all four of them on the same tour, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that is more for me. I always look at older Black artists still touring as this is a result of shitty contracts. This is a result of somebody made off with some money that they shouldn't have, that these folks didn't know about, and they're still having to tour to pay their bills. And not every single case, but I'm pretty sure we know the music industry has not been kind to our, you know, to our artists. We know that. So I think that more of our folks who are touring are doing it because their contracts weren't great. And they're not getting the kind of residuals for their music that you know, that they deserve. But then now that I say that, I also think we don't support our artists like we should. Like, the reason they're not getting the residuals is because, well, we're not consuming their music anymore.
I
The
wonder where
model,
the tips.
the revenue model has changed. So the streaming does not yield anywhere close to what physical album sales or, you know, used to get, because not only would they get publishing if they wrote the songs, but they used to get something called mechanical royalties, which was something that you would receive literally for every physical piece of music that you sold: a compact disc, a LP, a cassette, 8-track. The artist or whoever, somebody got a piece of that physical thing being sold. But now ain't no more physical things being sold. So that entire portion of the revenue stream is gone. So I don't know. I feel terrible. Like, for example, I follow George Clinton on TikTok. George Clinton is 80+ years old. He just celebrated a birthday. He's getting ready to go on a European tour. And he was like, yeah, getting ready to get on the road. I'm like, Pop, why? Why, Dad? Why, Daddy? Why you got to go back out there? You 82.
Well, we know why George has to. We know why.
But that's the thing. People like George Clinton of all people, should never have to touch a stage ever again. Sly Stone, tragically, at the end of his life, was living in a van. As much as his music was taken, sampled, copied, stolen, reproduced. Like, these people have produced so much, they should never have to literally work again. Them checks should be coming in the mail like they are fucking Roger Waters. You know what I mean?
That's all true. Yeah.
I agree.
Let's do some news, kiddos.
All right, before Ear Doctor comes back in here. Okay.
Push a button on him.
You saw him try to pop up.
Thank you, remixers, for joining us. Please like the video, subscribe to all of our channels. Shout out to I Mix What I Like. Shout out to, I think we have our own Remix Morning Show YouTube channel somewhere. You go push buttons at all the places. I have a suggestion. I'll tell y'all after the show. But let's get to some news. Let's news it up.
Jackie, you got something for us? Looks like you.
Yes. Let's start off with the black woman I love to hate.
Fuck you, Ice Cube. It's the nigga you love to hate.
Yes, this one has made. She did a little press conference. So let's unfortunately hear this voice and hear what she has to say.
And we greatly appreciate the surge of officers.
Wow.
What MPD has been able to do in this city. The most significant thing that we are highlighting today is the area of crime that was most troubling for us in 2023. Now, we have driven it down over the last years, but I'm going to get my glasses so I can make sure I can see it correctly. But for carjackings, the difference between this period, this 20-day period of this federal surge and last year represents a 87% reduction in carjackings in Washington, D.C.
In a 2-week period?
When carjackings go down,
because nobody's leaving their fucking house.
Goes down, when homicide or robbery go down, neighborhoods feel safer and are safer.
They don't feel safer. They're staying in their fucking house because they don't feel safer. The cars are parked.
So, listen. Y'all know where I'm going with this. You know what I'm going to say. You know what I'm going to say. But I'm going to say it anyway. This woman has been doing everything that Trump is doing with the National Guard, with the MPD, before the National Guard showed up here. All this, everything that she just said, carjackings. She was the one who led this crusade to increase the penalties for carjacking, a crime that was not happening a lot in this city. Not to the extent that they made. Look, people always want to make it seem like young Black kids over here are like, this is just the fucking OK Corral, and they're young Black kids just running around, you know, killing people, just roving gangs of wild wolf.
But they was definitely out here stealing cars. I mean,
I'm not saying that it never happened.
They was definitely out here taking cars at a very high level, not just Washington, but Prince George's County, all over the region. Cars were being, some of them were carjacked, some of them were just being stolen. Shout out to the kids that were stealing them Kias with the USB cords. Genius level of shit right there. But the kids was stealing the cars a lot. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jackie.
So carjacking is a separate crime from car theft.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So carjacking under the DC Criminal Code is a crime that has been enhanced so that if you are accused the first time, you get charged with a federal offense. And that has been the way that DC has locked up a lot of young youth, a lot of youth that they have accused of carjacking, not stealing cars, not breaking and entering, but carjacking.
Mm-hmm.
Because conservatives made a huge deal about DC going back and revising 100-plus-year-old criminal code that needed to be updated. And the conservatives decided, DC is easy on carjacking, all these young Black kids running around killing people and stealing their cars. And it was Muriel Bowser who was like, well, yeah, that does need to be. And that was not the case at all. That was not the case. There was not a bunch of young people running around here killing folks and taking their cars. That's what carjacking is.
I thought it was armed. It's like armed robbery, but make it a car.
It is armed, but it also includes an act of violence in the commission of attempting to take the car. Right. So the way it has been framed in this DC criminal code, it is not as simple as somebody breaking into a car or somebody stealing a car. Right. So the crime bill that Muriel Bowser passed and the city council passed before Trump ever came into office allowed these things to occur that were happening before Trump deployed the National Guard. MPD and the Department of Public Works were clearing encampments exactly the same way they are doing it now. Exactly the same way. Under Bowser, before Trump. Bowser imposed these youth curfews before Trump to criminalize youth. Bowser, through this crime bill and the city council, and it's mostly Democrats on the city council, they criminalized fare jumping, which impacts mostly Black and brown youth. So it is not a surprise. It shouldn't be a surprise to anybody that Muriel Bowser does this performative criticism of Trump deploying the National Guard, and then less than a month later, she is carrying the water of the lies about this rampant crime in DC, that this federal surge she's now praising. She's giving legitimacy to this lie that young Black youth were out of control, roaming the streets, just wreaking havoc and killing people, and the uncontrolled, and they needed to be controlled by the National Guard. She is giving legitimacy to that narrative
and that's my big thing. My big thing is just that's what she, again, her and the misleadership class, whether Black or white amongst the Democrats, that there's no challenge to this, right? There's no, idea that they're going to stand up and say, not only don't we not need the National Guard, but I'm calling out all DC residents to join me in a march to the White House to protest this, to stop this, to meet me downtown in Atlanta, to stop this, to whatever. There's no idea of like, if he takes over the police, they'll make him take over the police. You're going to say all stand down, do not work with ICE, do not work with the National Guard, do not work with the Marines when they come in. This is not our job. It is not our role. Again, in California, the mayor of Los Angeles, she didn't have the police department stand down. She had the police department come out and actually attack organizers and people out in the street and protesters who were protesting the use of the National Guard and ICE and so forth. So what they do is that they back up these insurgent politics and do some light critiques, but they're not doing anything to make people see that this what's happening right now is something that needs to be fought against as opposed to cowered to. And I should, I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt to even suggest that she's cowering. She's with it. She's a part of it. She's not opposed to it completely. Remember the statements by her own police chief about, we welcome the federal troops, the federal or the National Guard to come in here and help. And so now all these different National Guards are being brought to DC to coordinate this so-called bringing down crime effort. It's being reported in newspapers as a anti-crime effort. And so they're giving the justification, the rationale, far more credence than what it deserves, because it has nothing to do with crime. It has all to do with a federal police takeover of the streets in terms of preparation for a larger federal police takeover when they think it is deemed necessary to go after not only the enemies of Trump, but the masses of people, to scare them into not protesting what is happening. And this plays to his white constituency once again, but there's no major figure out here openly opposing it in a way that should be, that makes people understand that the role of these militarized police has nothing to do with crime. It has all to do with control, fascism, military takeover. Again, crime always goes down under fascism because people don't leave their houses, right? So if that's what you're worried about, if that's what you want, people don't leave their houses. Like, and even these stories about downtown DC, and there are complaints about the business class saying that people are not coming down. Well, of course they're not coming down, right? People are scared to even leave their houses in their neighborhoods at this stage because they walk out and the cops are there, the Metro police are there leading the way, asking people, demanding IDs, checking up on what people have in their cups and all that kind of stuff. So the fuck what? I want to drink on my step. So what? What am I doing? Who am I bothering? Why is that a crime or code anyway? Right? So that for me is like the big, like, so these sellout politicians are not doing anything, obviously, because that is their role. So they're not doing anything to fight back against it. So, she does these press conferences with these statistics, basically praising the federal takeover. Because what? It curries favor with who? Certainly not with the population of DC. So that's my big thing. I just feel like this has nothing to do with crime. This has to do with an arm of the state, the liberal arm of the state, giving cover for a more fascist arm of the state. And as you said, the state which was engaged in some of these actions anyway. Again, I'm not going to say to the degree because they didn't have the power, but they have not all out been opposed to these actions. They've actually given cover and facilitated a lot of these actions in terms of how they're happening and who they're happening to.
Mm-hmm. I talked about this a little bit on my show last night. Maryland Governor Wes Moore is getting a bit of a national spotlight, getting some attention because Trump keeps mentioning him, saying very disparaging things about Baltimore, et cetera. So Wes Moore is getting his chance to shine and show his mettle in the national spotlight, why he could be potentially a 2028 presidential candidate. But I'm listening to Wes Moore and I'm listening to Baltimore Mayor Brandon Scott. And I'm like, I'm not hearing too much separation between these Black Democrats and Donald Trump. Brandon Scott said on TV, he is looking for the Trump administration to surge more federal agents to the streets of Baltimore. He said, we need more DEA, FBI, ATF. We need them working shoulder to shoulder with Baltimore Police Department. the only thing they disagree on, Scott, Moore, and Trump, is the use of the National Guard. Wes Moore says we don't need. I was able to reduce crime in Maryland. We didn't have to bring in the National Guard, and I was a soldier. I wore the uniform. I'm like, shut up. Anyway, but my point is this: they all want the same thing. What's the difference? If it's National Guard, if it's federal agents, if Moore and Scott want to see these agents surge to the streets of Maryland, how does this separate policy wise from what Donald Trump is suggesting? The Democrats are going to be made to run to the right of Republicans on crime. This is a repeat of what we saw to the lead up of the 1994 crime bill, where Republicans are goading Democrats. You guys are soft on crime. You let the criminals run amok. And then Democrats, led by Joe Biden and Bill Clinton and all the rest of them, put forth this extraordinary piece of policy that targeted Black communities, Black youths in particular. It was the Democrats that ran that through. And I see Trump setting the Democrats up for exactly that same kind of shit. The Democrats are going to prove, or have to be made to prove, that they are tough on criminals, tough on crime. So they're going to go possibly to the right of Trump, which I don't even see how that's possible, but they're going to try. they're going to give it a shot. So I'm not surprised at Muriel Bowser's rhetoric, because I'm hearing the same thing come from Wes Moore and Brandon Scott. The only one I'm not hearing it from in particular is Chicago's Mayor Brandon Johnson. He seems to have a little bit more cheek with him in his willingness, at least, to vocally oppose Trump. But I'm not exactly sure how well or not well Brandon Johnson is doing governing Chicago and what Chicagoans think of him. But these Democrats are not going to be the ones to save us or to even differentiate themselves policy-wise when it comes to crime and cracking down on Black communities, because they seem to have shared goals.
And I never even want to have the conversation about crime that is at the center of this, because that, if people are concerned about crime, first you need to understand, I think the thing that I've been thinking about is, people are talking about, well, if you just follow the law, what the hell is the law in a settler colony? What the hell is the law in a white supremacist settler colony where you have white and Black people who are in leadership, who pass laws that they write in anything into that you don't really have any visibility into or say into, that can determine that anything they want is a crime, which is a lot of what was done with this DC crime bill. Anytime you make not paying the metro fare an offense that is a step down from a felony offense that comes with a $300 fine, that you know most of the people who can't afford bus fare can't afford to pay, so they're going to sit in jail until they go to court over not paying a bus fare, right? That is what these people do to so-called law. They decide whatever they want is a crime. So I don't want to have a conversation about what crime is or is not, because if people are concerned about crime, they would be concerned about what are these politicians doing to reduce poverty. Because we know damn well that intra-communal crime is driven by lack of resources and poverty. And we are not the only people who know that. Social scientists, politicians, academics, the medical community, everybody knows this. This is why organizations like the YMCA were created at the turn of the century, to give European immigrants, particularly European immigrant teenagers who were running around committing crime, a place to go, learn some skills. And then governments in these cities with these big European immigrant populations living in these tenements realized, oh, wait, we have to improve their housing. We have to improve their sanitation, their education, their access to jobs, so that they don't feel like they have to resort to crime to survive. So the government and all of these social institutions at the turn of the century created all these policies to improve neighborhoods, improve housing, improve education, improve pay, provide more opportunities for jobs, and all this kind of stuff for European immigrants, because they understood that would improve crime. That would reduce crime. So it's not like they don't know they will not provide those things for our people. What they will provide for us instead are these types of legislations, these types of laws, and this type of coordination between Black neoliberal misleaders and conservatives. That's that is the issue here.
So really quick, because we're going to bring the ear doctor back up. If these crackers were so concerned about crime, they would not have voted in a convicted felon, convicted in their own court. In their own court, somebody who has hovering over them the potential charge of a sex charge or sex criminal for potentially having sex with underage, allegedly. So it's got nothing to do with crime. It's all about power and takeover, because the whole formation of the rhetoric and the propaganda obviously even comes out of Africans coming out of slavery, being considered a threat because they're no longer on the plantation. So, that this propaganda and rhetoric has been with us since day one of life in America. And nothing has changed in that respect in terms of the narrative that's used against Black people to justify arresting, jailing, imprisoning, and murdering Black people. This is old rhetoric that the only thing new about it is that now we do have this buffer middle class of Black folks who are willing to engage in this rhetoric also because it serves some purpose that they have of trying to get these offices and to try to be at the feet of a capitalist and development class that means nothing but harm to our community. So ain't got nothing to do with no crime stats. Crime is, even at their own statistics, crime is at historical low moments in what's happening in this country. So it's never been about crime. It's all about community takeover. It's all about power. And it's all about putting Black folks in their place and using us as a scapegoat for the terrible society that they fucking created in the first place. Let's bring up the ear doctor, who's everything but terrible in this society.
Talk that talk. Listen, my router is
you got it going now?
Everything is good now. Everything.
I like your powder blue t-shirt. I didn't notice that.
Well, actually, I was trying to. No. It's gray. I was trying to get on my Kamal K. Franklin. It's a Long John shirt.
Yeah, no, let's see that. See, when I wear those look good. You got the nipples coming out a little bit.
I know. You remember we was talking about the
that's why you got the
your hands off the man boobs.
Wait, when y'all talk about your brassieres, we don't say nothing. Let us finish this conversation.
We don't sit here and fondle ourselves when we talk about it, though.
Listen, when men are talking,
nigga, if you don't shut up.
When men are talking.
Notice right away, I shut up. I shut up. I'm like, I shut up.
When men are talking, I stop listening every time.
See, that's the problem. That's the problem. God,
see, that's the kind of stuff that make us get the frying pan. Y'all be messing up.
Listen, you get them a little mad, and then tonight I'm taking a lady to go do some little salsa dancing tonight. Hey.
Is that salsa music? What was that?
It's a little mix, a little hard salsa type joint. I mean,
hard salsa? Is that like hard seltzer? What is that? I don't know.
See, I can't with you. You're so uncivilized.
Oh,
you need me throwing some of that right there? I mean, I got it now. Come on, son.
Oh my God, who's my guy?
What is happening right now?
All right.
That shit hard.
That shit hard, ain't it?
Hard, dog.
That shit is hard.
Because it sounds like, festive go-go to me. You know what I'm saying? It's it's spicy go-go music. I love it. It's the salsa music.
Yeah, I gotta go do some salsa dancing tonight because I've been getting ready all week listening to Wu-Tang since we're doing this classical breakdown at 11 a.m. So make sure y'all come back for that. So, all right. So let's go ahead and take a break, and we'll come back with some more right here on no other than, you guessed it, the Remix Morning Show. Check out my melody. Big up, everybody. Thank y'all for tuning in. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Go to patreon.com. Become a member over there. Get footage that's rare. And where can you go to donate? BLKLiberationMedia.org. Thank you very much. We appreciate your donations. We appreciate the fact that you are helping us stay here and come to y'all every week, every day with some positive messages, some messages that's radicalized in this perspective. Woo, bars. All right. So let me talk to you real quick. Let me give y'all a review. We're gonna do a album review. So since I've been listening to Wu-Tang, I was like, let me talk about this album right here that just dropped. Ghostface, Supreme Clientele 2. Now, let me give y'all this. He came with it was like 22, 23, or 24, like 4 skits on the album, and pretty much 18 solid songs. 18 solid songs. He came with some songs. A lot of the songs like you hear in this one right here, Rap Kingpin.
Silk words that's smoother than virgin fabric, and I'm true
rapping like he usually does on the Supreme Clientele album. So he took a lot of the beats that was already out and redid it, which was pretty dope because, you know, the thing is, a lot of us already know these beats already, and so we already bobbing our head. But he had a bunch of different people on the album. He started off with M.O.P. M.O.P. was on the album. We had Method Man on the album, Raekwon. We had so many different people on the album. We even had who else was on this damn album? Let me think. I forget. But the album is real good. He even took and went back and did my joint Zoom by the Commodores. He redid that song Zoom and had, you know, he always does a song where he has somebody singing in the background while he rapping. So that was a dope treat right there. Bunch of dope joints on here. Like I said, go check it out. He got a joint on here with Nas. He got a joint on here with a bunch of people. But it was a good, solid album. Out of 5 stars, I would give it 4. So big up to Ghostface. Continue to make some good music. And that's all, folks. Let's get back to it right here on the Remix Morning Show.
40 bundles of smack. I seen lawyers get strung. They started off with the crack. The plug sent me 10 bricks. I sent all of them back. So they sent me half of 100. Had to get them on that. I want 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 that.
Yeah.
I
Never
love
a big
both of them.
skit man. I never liked skits on my albums. When they started doing all those skits, I was always like, can we skip the skits?
I get you.
There's only a couple of them. There was one, the method when he's like, when I show his asshole up and keep feeding them and feeding them and feeding them and feeding them and feeding them. Because I remember riding into that. I was like, oh, but very few skits, really.
Yeah. Yeah, this one had a good skit about the whole pause thing getting out of control. Every time you talk about something, you gotta say pause, pause, pause. It's like, come on, man. Your mind is in a different place if you gotta pause every time we say a certain thing. So I hit up Kim and I was like, yo, check the album out. Let's talk about it. What's your thoughts on it, Kim?
I dug it. I liked it. You know, it's hard to rename an album after an already classic album. So, you know, the expectations were high. And not to say that Ghost disappointed. He could never disappoint, to be honest. But, you know, I mean, there's no RZA beats. You know what I'm saying? It didn't feel like a Wu-Tang album per se, but I guess we're kind of beyond that at this point of the Wu-Tang Clan saga. But I liked it. I mean, it's good. Ghost is still rapping. Rapping.
It felt like a mixtape. Like he got his DJ homeboy to
see that
arrange it in a certain way and everything.
I like the joint he had with Nas. The joint was, you know, that shit was legit.
You abandoned me. Love don't live here anymore.
I actually wish they would have left the hook out. I like the beat anyway. These are my little.
I was about to say, but the hook needed to be there because that's what they was talking about. People that abandoned them and their love doesn't live here anymore.
I know, but it's been done. That it's been that,
By
that
who?
sample. How many times has the Rolls Royce sample been used? What are we being serious?
I'm talking about that chorus.
I don't know about the chorus, but
that's what I'm. It's that one time. That's what I'm telling you.
Oh, the sample. It's
Can
been
save
done.
this for the breakdown? Save this for the.
All
bring
right,
it up. What's happening at 11 o'clock?
Oh yeah, classical breakdown. Wu-Tang. We'll be back.
Are they still touring? Are they still touring?
Nah, this was supposed to be the last tour.
That's not true. They're gonna tour more.
Yeah.
I hope so.
In 5 years, there's gonna be another tour.
Come back
I hope everybody's here in 5 years. So
go back at 11 and see me and Kim argue.
Exactly. But wait a minute. Except for Old Dirty, nobody else has been deceased from Wu-Tang, right?
That's correct. Everybody's still here, except for Old Dirty.
Yeah, and now his son is trying to step in and do some stuff.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So when I saw them perform at the DC Cannabis Festival a couple years ago, Young Dirty Bastard, I'm like, sir, this is the easiest check you will ever get. You need to know, you need to know the words. Okay. Young Dirty Bastard was up there not knowing all the words. I said, nigga, this is the easiest fucking job.
You got one job. You got one job.
Repeat your dad's lyrics.
That's it.
Your
You ain't
own
got to
song.
stray. Nothing.
You ain't got to write nothing. You just got to get up there and repeat the words. And this young man, you know, he was forgetting the shit. I'm like, nigga.
Oh, my bad. Sailor asking, can we move on? My bad, Sailor. Let us do what you ask.
All right.
Welcome to the Remix Morning Show.
I guess.
And that was all of this transitions on the back end are really fast. You know what I'm saying?
You were better me. Anyway.
All right. We got Kamal, Jackie, Kim, Remix Morning Show. Over 270 folks here checking us out. I just checked it out. We are now 241 subscribers
This is
away.
the saddest crawl to 50.
No, the numbers have picked up. Jesus Christ. What? Get out that bag. The numbers have picked up. We are now only 241 away. That means in September, we will be hitting 50,000 subscribers. 50 G's on top.
Mm-hmm.
Don't say a word, Kim. Don't say a word. Okay. Leave it alone.
Listen, as I limp, I've been limping to 10K on my channel. Limping. Okay. Struggle. So
that's what the algorithms will do for you. They don't want you getting this information. That's why y'all got, in the chat, y'all got to put this information out there. Y'all got to share it on social media. Y'all got to tell people to come to the channel. Y'all got to get people to come to the social media platforms. That's part of your job. You're part of your job. Other than organizing, other than getting out there and joining organizations and doing the rest of it. So yeah, we got to do. Yes, we're not a great promo channel. We don't do a lot. We do our shows, and then afterwards,
we don't organize.
As organizers, we're terrible organizers for the channel itself. But we're getting better. We always strive to get better. All right, who got another news story coming up?
What you got, Kamal?
I got a couple of things that I could bring up. Let me see which one is my purpose. Okay, there's this Forbes article. I'll start with this. Unusual coming from Forbes. Some of their sources are off, but I do like the theme because I think it's something that we've talked about before and others have. So it's this: why do workers blame themselves when there's no work? And it says employment in the U.S. is a very uneven metric of economic stability. Some of the fastest growth is occurring in large metropolitan areas where industries can thrive and benefit from local talent, infrastructure, and resources. Conversely, rural areas have been seeing a brain drain for some time, with few sources of employment for the residents who do remain. Manufacturing has also been shrinking consistently for several decades, despite successive politicians' promises to revive the industry. And certainly recent mass layoffs in the civil service mean that even government jobs that once offered the promise of long-term security are far less guaranteed than they once were. These changes present a spotty landscape for workers. They are indicative of a new era in which employment, I don't think it's a new era, employment is generally very precarious, uncertain, and temporary. Yet many of these changes are also the result of big picture factors, what sociologists refer to as structural dynamics that are beyond individual control, increased competition, globalization, so forth and so on. It says the theme of workers says who is to blame. The theme of workers holding themselves responsible for larger macroeconomic and sociological forces is a recurring one. A sociologist writes about the bleak economic landscape for those entering adulthood. Sylvia finds that these young people no longer mark growing up by traditional measures such as finding work or owning a home. Skyrocketing home prices, staggering debt, and a lack of consistent, stable, good jobs make doing that impossible. Instead, they focus on the struggles they have, with any luck, been able to overcome. Addiction, betrayal, poverty. It's crucial to note that the lack of gainful employment looms large as a key driver of uncertainty. with young folks, with young adult young adults face. Sorry. But equally important is the fact that these young workers aren't responsible for the jobs leaving their rural communities. The lack of training or the missing infrastructure that made bigger cities riper for investment. Nevertheless, they focus on themselves rather than the bigger structural dynamics that make employment or the lack thereof a central missing piece. So it says in a study comparing workers in the United States, and this was weird for me, Israel, sociologists found that those in the latter country were far less likely to attribute unemployment to their own perceived shortcomings and flaws. These workers sought to highlight the ways their resumes and experiences fit the jobs for which they were applying. They highlighted the ways that the ways they were specifically qualified for the jobs they sought. Those in the U.S., by contrast, attempted to highlight the individual personalities behind the resumes and the cover letters, and to show how they, as unique individuals, were the right fit for the jobs for which they were applying. Both are understandable strategies, but for Americans, this focus on individualism means that when job searches failed, applicants took this as a direct reflection of their own self-worth. When they were unable to land jobs, particularly for a prolonged period of time, they did not conceptualize this as a problem of industries on the decline or the increased automation or the consequences of globalization. They blamed themselves. And so I'm going to stop there because I just, the truism part is that's how, the part that I wanted to discuss more is this is how American society trains workers and individuals to respond to what are usually, again, macroeconomic, government and industry decisions on who gets to work and who doesn't get to work, where jobs are. And even when it comes to people paying their bills, and falling into debt, people blame themselves when they are not able to pay their bills, even if their bills are there because they couldn't get the jobs that they tried to get, and they have no other choice because of the way society works, but to take out loans. It makes people feel like failures. And, even going back to the discussion earlier, the quip around personal responsibility, people go from maybe there's some personal responsibility, obviously, in all our lives, but they take that and make it into everything about why people have not been able to achieve what they think they can achieve, because the propaganda is so sort of drilled down into us that anytime we don't get a job or we don't pay a bill, that it's our fault, and the stress and the psychological stress that it brings on people is overwhelming. But again, I don't, the article didn't draw it out as much as I would have liked to, but this is obviously part of a propaganda game around how people who are seeking jobs feel about themselves, and who they blame vis-a-vis who is really to blame for the way the economy functions.
Mm-hmm. That's why I encourage people to lie on their resumes. Lie. Tell a story. I mean, tell a whole fucking story. Don't lie and say that you have a medical degree and you're applying to be a surgeon. Don't do that. But if you're applying for a public relations job, an admin job, something where you push papers around, you work inside the air, tell a story. I'm not even joking here. I'm being dead ass serious. Number one, because we know that the whites that work with us, especially in corporate spaces, usually themselves are deeply unqualified, right? Not having the basic skill set. In fact, oftentimes it'd be a black worker having to train a white worker on how to become their manager, right? It's that kind of shit. So don't just play this game straight up the way that it's been presented to us. Oh, send your resume and cover letter. Yeah, but size that shit up. Make it so that it's almost irrefutable. And I know people be like, well, you can't lie like that in this day and age. I disagree. I think you can tell tremendous stories. I think you and your networks should really try to help each other out. You and your friends, your homies, your recent college graduates, your maybe not so recent college graduates, all y'all struggling to find jobs, be y'all own references, y'all own former managers. This system is designed to hold you back. So it's incumbent upon us to not only get creative, but to scam the system. I don't think that we should ever scam each other. I don't think we should ever scam our own people, Shout out to Umar Johnson. He seems to have done a tremendous job of scamming, maybe slightly less overtly. But anyway, I'm telling you, we're not going to win in this system by playing the game straight up. So do what you can to level the playing field in your favor. We're not going to be able to change the system in this moment. So what can you and your cronies, your homies, your comrades, how can y'all help each other out in this terrible work environment to try to gain a little bit of leverage so that you can get in, if that is indeed your goal? Because I don't disagree with the entrepreneurship, working outside of the system, doing what you can to try to gin up your own revenue to support yourself that doesn't require, go into a 9-to-5. But at the same time, the 9-to-5 does provide a lot of stability, and I understand why people pursue those avenues. So get creative. Tell a story. The whites be in there lying, go lie. Tell you a good story to make sure that you get in there and hopefully be able to stay in there. Maybe that's not good advice. I'm not an attorney. Don't think this.
Give a disclaimer at the end.
It's just a suggestion.
Don't say Kim told me to do this.
But you should do that though. But we can't play the game straight up, because obviously a lot of us are deeply overqualified on paper and niggas still don't get jobs. Mm-hmm. So what is it? What's the real math here? What's the algorithm?
Right. I mean, and we have to recognize, and because I realize people don't understand. They don't know that we live in a system that has indoctrinated us into believing that we are what we do for a living. Like our worth and our standing in this society is connected to what our job is, whether we have a job or not, whether we have a white collar job or a blue collar job. Do you know what I mean? And the reason that work is categorized by some people as skilled labor and unskilled labor is to decide which work and which workers they're going to respect and which ones they're not going to give a shit about. So all of the unskilled labor job, there's no such thing as unskilled labor. There is no such thing. All labor requires some kind of skill. And I don't care what the labor is. So there's no such thing as unskilled labor. But even with people who have a job in this system, the kind of job you have determines how much respect you're going to be given in this society. It determines how much you're going to get paid. It determines where you're going to live. It determines how you're going to live. And those are all artificially decided, all politically determined kind of silos that these people have put all employment in, so that we don't just have we don't just have a society where everybody who wants a job can get a job, and with one job you can support yourself, right, and live a dignified life, and nobody is making a big deal about the kind of job you have because nobody cares, because we're all minding our business, doing our thing. No, in this society, in capitalism, your worth is determined by whatever the capitalists decide your worth means. So if you don't have a job, you're worthless. If you have an unskilled labor job, you're also worthless, but you're a little useful, right? Mm-hmm. So they'll keep you in that position, in that unskilled labor, but they keep telling you, oh, if you just get a degree, if you just get more education, more skills, you can move up. No, that's just to get your money, because you have no way to move out of the bottom into the positions that they're holding in the white collar jobs for their unqualified ass kids. So this, I agree with Kim. I'm I see folks in the chat. Well, if we get caught though, listen.
If we get caught,
you gonna get your ass kicked in this system, whether caught. You do or not. Like when y'all listen, I understand. But, y'all gonna have to stop being so scared.
Y'all so worried about getting in trouble. Oh, what they gonna do? What they gonna do? They're gonna send the police to you lied on your resume.
You already in trouble, Mo. You already in trouble. You might as well. Like I don't.
Yeah, I feel like I had to overcome. This is a strange but good story. I had to overcome the idea that stealing was bad, even as like particularly around who you steal from, right? And so like and without the clear understanding of like these forces steal from us all the time and put us in these places and make us again, lock us into an ideology that if we don't pay our bills, then we are shameful, we don't deserve respect, and the rest of it. We're all along, like these corporations thrive. Your man Trump, they thrive on taking out these loans again, and then bankruptcy court or like when the loans is due, either bankruptcy or not paying the loan so they can get a better deal on the loans. They got no qualms whatsoever about not following through with so-called obligations. No qualms. We can go back to treaties and all the rest of it, but it don't enter their mindset that there is some moral leveled playing ground that they need to be on. That's only for you. That's only for you. Those moral playing grounds. That's for you to follow. Because if you don't, then they release the crime statistics and telling you how bad you are, or they bring the police out on you or some shit like that. So that's the crazy shit for me. Once I felt free, the job was like, that was just a paycheck. Shit, it's like where's the stash at? Where's the office supply store at? You know what I'm saying? At the very least.
And when you really realize like how much, I mean, I know we got white viewers. I'm not talking about y'all. Maybe I'm talking about a couple of y'all, but when you realize like how far whites go on so little, it's like, wait a second. You don't know a fraction of what I know. How the fuck are you my supervisor? My supervisor. How the fuck does this work? I'll give y'all a quick example. Y'all remember the big murder case that happened in Boston area recently, the Karen Reed trial. This white woman was on trial for allegedly running over her boyfriend who was a Boston cop, but really what actually happened, the Boston cop got beat up by some other cops and they actually killed him. Long story short, so the trial was actually quite fascinating. They put the state put on an expert. Right. This man on his resume had that he had a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. I don't remember specifically what it was, but when they drill down to it, he never got the degree. He's had the job for like over a decade, never got the degree. And he was been working and pursuing to get his bachelor's degree for like 12 years. Right. And it was her defense that unwound this all on the stand. And I'm like, nigga, you done held a job for 12 years. You have been called on the court as an expert and you ain't even got your goddamn degree. Look at the whites. I mean, the whites do so much with so little, and it's not fair. That's why I'm telling you, young people, don't despair. Get creative. Tell the most brilliant fiction story about yourself and your work experience. And I need 10 of y'all to do this and put everybody's phone number down. And each of y'all was the other's former supervisors. Okay. Right. I'm serious. Like, stop playing this game straight up. Like, stop coloring in the line. Stop playing by the rules. We're never going to survive unless we get a little crazy. You understand? Try to tell us
that. I love it. I love it. And honestly, y'all, I really don't. Okay, let me stop pontificating, because I swear every week I'd be like, what is wrong with us? Because we got enough history in our lifetime in this country to understand that these people fucking hate us. They hate us. And they know that they can't outright just mow us down in the street, because that would look bad, again, rather, because there are cameras now. But when they did it before, who was there that was gonna, you know what I mean? So, and they don't care about the history. So, okay. But honestly, yesterday was the 20th anniversary of the landfall of Katrina, I believe. Yes, yeah, today is 28th. Yesterday was 27th. Black Agenda Report has an entire volume this week of retrospectives about Katrina. As you can see here, let me try to go. Margaret Kimberly Barr, executive editor and senior columnist, has a fantastic article, Why We Remember Katrina. She also has, let's see, we've got the editors of the Black Agenda Review with an essay, This is Criminal, September 1st from 2005, where they say it's not like New Orleans was caught off guard. This could have been prevented. You remember all of the conversations that were had after Katrina. And even they started before Katrina had really resolved, before anybody was rescued. We knew then that that didn't have to happen. John Jeter has contributed another fantastic article, From Jim Crow to Katrina to Gentrification, tracing the rise and fall of the New Orleans working class. And if you get a chance, please get John Jeter's book, and I have to give you a link to it. It's really great. Anthony Carifa Rogers writes, Synergy of the Sacrifice, Katrina and the Praxis of Imperial Domination. 20 years after Katrina, the disaster stands not as an anomaly, but as a blueprint. Its aftermath reveals a template for imperial domination. So this is just, and then we're going to talk about this a little bit later too, this really great documentary that the People-Centered Human Rights Project, the North-South Project for People-Centered Human Rights, and African Stream have gotten together to produce and distribute a mini documentary on Kibera, inequality in Kenya. That premieres today, but I'm going to give you a link to this Black Agenda Report issue so you can have all of these articles about Katrina and the retrospective that we need to be engaged in, because has Katrina really ended for us? Has when we look at New Orleans and we look at what happened to New Orleans after Katrina and the Black population in New Orleans, the infrastructure in New Orleans, what happened to the public schools, what happened to public services, what happened to public housing, what happened to all of those Black people? If you went to New Orleans before Katrina and after, you know that the city was very different. It felt different. It looked different because our people, a large segment of our people, were no longer there. They could not move back to New Orleans because they couldn't afford it. And that was by design, right? So when we look at how New Orleans was gentrified through a natural disaster, literal disaster capitalism, how capitalism will use a natural disaster to be the vehicle for ethnic cleansing and gentrification, has that not been the case for our communities, our domestic colonies throughout this country before and since then? We're still facing the same denial of resources, having our people live on these isolated reservations without resources, without a stability, over-policed. Everything is privatized. We can't afford it, but we can't escape. We can't get out. That's a domestic colony. And Katrina should have been like the clarion call for us. That should have been the alarm that, like what Kim said, stop trying to play in a system that does this to us straight, as if they have any morals, as if their rules make sense, as if their rules mean anything. They don't.
Well, speaking of somebody who's got some rules for us, let's bring up the ear down.
Too many rules.
Oh my goodness, come on.
Too many rules. What's up, Teach? What you want to teach us? Teach, what's up? What rules you got for us?
All right, so
Prof.
my thoughts on this is the whole gentrification things. I don't look at it as being as bad as it sounds. Let the white people have the city. I like the suburbs. And I was just thinking, like, you got Fayetteville, places like Fayetteville, places like McDonough that have nice little Black suburban towns that's actually not too bad. We ain't really got to see too many white people, and not saying all whites are bad, but we have our own little thing going on out here. We don't care about the city. I don't really need to go to the city unless I have a job. So I don't know.
But lucky you have a car.
That's true. And that you're right. And that this whole train and bus out here, it's out here, but it sucks.
Is it? I mean, MARTA is kind of like what they did in Detroit, right? And they didn't want to put the MARTA out in the suburbs or out further out because they didn't want y'all niggas going out to the suburbs. They didn't want to see y'all niggas in Marietta.
And then when we think of wars and stuff, where did they hit first? Big cities. Why would we want to be in the city if some shit go down? What do I know? But anyway,
that's a good question. That is a really
it's-
good question. You ended that with.
it's a whole nother perspective and a way of thinking, and that's what you get here on the Remix Morning Show.
That's
different
one way of
perspectives.
saying it.
Kamal agrees with me though, a little bit.
He bet
A
not.
little bit. He agreed. He lives in the suburbs.
You got to go. Do I live in the suburbs?
Yes.
It is?
Yes.
Okay. But I used
You
to
live in the
a city.
suburbs, Kim.
I'm a city, but by heart, I'm a city. But I'm not mad at the idea. I mean, we need to control land and spaces and all that kind of stuff. So wherever we can control that, I'm down with. So,
hey, suburbs, you ain't gonna do it in the city.
I technically live in the suburbs.
Yeah. All y'all suburbanites talking this city shit. All right, let's go ahead and take a quick break, and we gonna come right back with some more.
Jackie's from the city.
Is she?
Kitchen
Kitchen What's good, everybody? Welcome out. Thank y'all for tuning in. This is the Remix Morning Show. Man, I had too much fun with y'all, my comrades on the screen. I hope y'all having a great week and a great day. You know, it's all about mental health. Sometimes you get busted in the head with all this craziness in the world. Sometimes you just got to laugh to keep from crying. And at the same time, remember, listen, we in the present. Be present. All right. So with that said, let's talk about the different shows that come on besides the Remix Morning Show. Dare to Struggle just had a Dare to Struggle, Dare to Win just had another show on, and they invited his sister out to talk about her oral history of talking interviews with freed and political prisoners. Let's see exactly what they was talking about. Can we do that? Let's do that.
We're, left with some really awful takes on history. And so when I think about collective memory, it is how are we all contributing to ourselves and our struggle through the experiences that we've had in organizing.
I'm sorry, Cherie, really quick. So when you were saying that, there's this book that we was talking about before, Beneath the Mountain, Anti-Prison Reader. So it talked about how Frederick Douglass, having the ability to read and write, gave him the position to be able to tell his story. But it was many of the people who probably couldn't read and write who didn't have the opportunity to engage an oral historian to preserve their story. So it's like so many things got left off the table. So it just made me thought of it. Question.
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking about what we were talking about earlier too, and just like, and Jared Ball always talks about this, like, how do you know the things you know, or how do you like, why you like the things you like, and certain things like that. And it brings me back to like where we get our information from.
All right. You want to hear some more of that? Go check out the full episode and find out what she has to say about what's going on with these political prisoners that's been freed, that book, all types of stuff they're talking about. So make sure you go check that out right here on Black Liberation Media. With that said, let's get back to it right here on the Remix Morning Show. Get your lights. Get your lights. Nice little music from Stove God Cooks.
That was good.
What a
and
name.
Dartrisha is fantastic. Dartrisha, who is an oral history professional. We need people with all kinds of different skills in this movement who is helping us in particular, community movement builders, conduct oral histories with former political prisoners, again, Black Panthers, Black Liberation Army members. And she's been traveling around because, again, these folks are passing. Their stories are not always told. It's hard to find interviews with them. So on our website, grassrootsthinking.com, that very oral history segment with Brother Jihad is up for folks. Jihad, who has been a Panther, a political prisoner, BLA member, actually currently is a member of Community Movement Builders, who lives and works on our farm, our collective farm, has put in so much work for the community. And as the theme of our last segment, had no problem whatsoever living double lives and telling different stories in order to work for the community. I'm going to play a couple of seconds of this clip just for folks to hear a little bit of Jihad. But go to grassrootsthinking.com to hear more.
So that organization was called Monroe County Community
the organization we
Organizers
started.
Federation. And I worked there. And then they opened, there's a lot of contradictions in this as far as the benefit to the community. But anyway, because we also started a liquor store. so much for the benefit of the community. But there you go. That's controversial within itself, but there you go. And so I did that. And with this youth organization, we separated from that and became the Rochester Federation of Youth. All the time now, by this time, I am kind of like underground in the BLA, but nobody, like I said, nobody knows that. I went up there under the alias of Randy Johnson. They don't even know. My birth name was David Bryan.
So that's just a snippet for folks. So my man is doing a youth organization. And at the same time, my man is part of the Black Liberation Army. And people don't know, right? So there are many facets of life, many things in which we get involved in. But when we understand that we're in a war and that people will use all means and mechanisms and methods to destroy us and to keep us powerless, we have to remember that folks did a whole bunch of different things, and held some of the contradictions, right? Held some of those contradictions, understood they weren't perfect, understood that their life wasn't some straight up moral plane that they had to follow because society told them to follow this and that. Folks broke away from that and understood that part of a revolutionary struggle means that you will do certain things at certain times and make certain moves, which will not be approved by larger society. And that when people in society don't, because they are so propagated or propagandized to believe that if you do something that's supposedly a so-called law breaks the law, that those folks won't get it or understand it. But once you get it and understand it, it opens up your world to the possibilities of not only what your life struggle will be in terms of surviving the society, but what your roles and responsibilities are in terms of somebody who loves their people and wants to break free from oppression. So all praises do go to grassrootsthinking.com. Check out the interview with Jihad. There's one from Ashanti. There's one from Jaleel, all three former political prisoners. And we're going to extend the series. We're going to speak to Kai Lumumba Barrow soon, who was not in the Panthers, but she's just been such a fantastic mentor to many people back in New York, a founder of Critical Resistance at its most radical beginnings and roots, someone who helped foment student struggle, a guide to people like myself in terms of a whole movement of organizers in New York. And her story hasn't been told to the degree it needs to be. And we're going to tell her story very soon as we continue on with the series of documenting the oral history of our folks.
Right on.
Fantastic.
Good stuff. All right. Remix Morning Show, Thursday edition. Thanks everybody for joining us, Remixers. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Support us at blkliberationmedia.org or head on over to Patreon. We got some Patreon exclusive goodies over there for you. Some of me and Ear Doctor's deleted classical breakdowns, amongst other little nuggets and gems. Patreon.com/Black Liberation Media. Please go over there and support your folks. Mo news.
I got a snippet. Unless you got something, Jackie, you want to do?
Oh, go ahead.
Okay.
I'll go after you. Go ahead.
I was just wondering, did y'all hear about Governor Kemp deploying ICE here in Georgia?
So are you going to actually bring a story up, or are you just going to interject?
You're just going to
tell us. We got no story ready.
I just asked y'all if y'all knew about it.
Why you bringing it? Why you coming? Why you not even on the screen?
Because he's the voice of God.
I got a story I was bringing up.
Did y'all know Neil before Zod died?
I don't even know who that is.
What?
I'm sorry.
What?
My guy from Superman. Kneel before God. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm a DMV. I refer to people by their line.
By their role.
I didn't know Neil before Zod died. Neil before Amazon. Sorry, that was not unrelated to anything. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You just did an ear doctor when I was asking the ear doctor not to do an ear
Not
doctor.
ear doctor.
I'm sorry.
I'm like, was that on the run sheet? I didn't see that on the run sheet.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, this is just as crazy as your man. Yeah, well, not as crazy, but so apparently, this is just a video to play because it's just crazy. So Texas GOP candidate, her name is Valentina Gomez, just released a campaign ad burning the Quran and vowing to end Islam in Texas.
What's her name again?
It is Valentina Gomez.
Valentina need to Gomez her ass on the fuck on. What the fuck is she talking about?
So watch this crazy video, listen to this crazy audio, and this is the state of affairs.
Your daughters will be raped and your sons beheaded unless we stop Islam once and for all.
She's literally burning a
We're
Quran.
done turning the other cheek. Remember, David didn't pray for Goliath. He killed them. America is a Christian nation, so those terrorist Muslims can fuck off to any of the 57 Muslim nations. There is only one true God, and that is the God of Israel.
Gave my brothers a drink up, did everything but gave up.
Oh,
Stabbed my back, I came front. Still we win, we prayed up. Even when we die, we raised up. Ain't no want, no need.
Powered, and her message says powered by Jesus Christ.
Brown Palestinian Jesus Christ. No, it ain't. No, it is not.
Oh my God.
Wait, her brown ass would be slaughtered by the IDF in a heartbeat. Oh Lord.
I'm confused because this is giving big Latinos for Trump energy. Is this a recent ad or is this something that got dug up from 2024? No,
she's running for office right now. That is
oh,
yeah.
That's so cute. She's still a girl. Oh, you think snuggling up to the white Christian evangelical conservative? You think that's going to save you, Valentina Gomez? Valentina. Get it together, Valentina, girl. Ain't no assimilation. No, ain't no amount of Quran burning going to stop them from snatching up your abuelita right now. Okay, nothing.
And just the unhinged ignorance of fundamentalist Christians, of these people. I swear to God. Jesus, take them or me. What I don't care at this point because I can't take it no more.
I can't take it. It's much. Let them have it, Jackie. Y'all want Earth? It's yours. Take it.
I give up. No mas.
Right. Capture me away, please, Lord.
I just I keep encountering this. Like life is giving me more content for this book that I'm trying to finish about these crazy motherfuckers and how they have just completely screwed up everything about the gospel message, regardless of whether you believe it or not. These people are that. You know how you were talking about, they just lie? This is no different. This whole thing, where did he go? This whole thing about, I'm going to end Islam once for all. How are you going to end a belief? You cannot end a belief. That's just, but then again, then there's this, there is only one true God. Allah is God in Arabic. It's the same entity. It's the same dude. God in Christianity is Allah in Islam. It's same guy, just different. These people, there's no reasoning with these people. There's no talking to these folks. That you just need to be thankful that they're very blatant with their psychopathy, and you can clearly see what is wrong with them.
But here's the thing: is the irony not lost on her? Like you, as a Latina, are saying that the Muslims are holding back America or destroying America, baby. Isn't that the same thing Trump is telling America about you and your folks? Mm-hmm. Y'all are the problem. The Latinos are the problem. The immigrants, the so dangerous. And here you are spewing similar rhetoric about Muslims and Islam. Whoa, what, come on, Valentina.
And
what's going on?
But this is the messed up. This, I think, is a reflection of the problem, and that's not an accurate enough word, with this whole idea of aligning yourself with the empire to save yourself from the empire, right? Because she knows damn well that her people are in the crosshairs and always have been. So she, not unlike the ADOS and FBA folks, believe that aligning themselves not just with Americanism, but with American Christianity in particular is going to save them. Like, not only is she trying to appeal to, patriots, Americans, but white American Christians. See, I believe like you. I hate the same people you do for the same reason you say you hate these people, because and she does not realize that these people are so evil that they will turn on her too. Like, the very people she's appealing to are only supporting Zionists because the death of Jews is a part of their end times prophecy. And that is the only reason they continue to support Israel, because in their end times prophecy, all those Jews have to die for Jesus to come back. And she is appealing to those people, thinking that they're going to include her in their post-apocalypse millennial kingdom of God, when they're not. Exactly. Oh boy.
But I'm so confused as to why, even in 2025, people who are non-white think that assimilation or attempts at assimilation is like a winning strategy. It's like, when? Like, in order for you to assimilate, you literally have to check everything non-white about you at the door for them to let you in and fully accept you. That means, like, you and your current brown-skinned self is not acceptable. I don't care even how light skin of a Latina you are. If they can look at you, if your last name is Gomez, okay, that is an automatic disqualifier. These ain't my rules. These are white rules, okay? Anything kind of sounding ethnic, non-European, and obviously your white Americans don't perceive Spanish last names as European. They perceive them as Latino, Latin, right?
Which is also crazy, but that's another part.
So Gomez, Rodriguez, Reyes is foreigner. Okay, that's all the whites here is foreign. You're foreigner. You're not from here. Your people didn't come from here. And no matter how much rhetoric, white supremacist rhetoric you spew, it's not going to be enough for them to fully let you in. It's never going to happen. You got to marry a white husband. Your kids got to come out light as shit. You would lose 2 generations away from assimilating, Valentina.
And you don't think she's trying? And she's on the road. I'm sure she's on the road. She's on that road.
Yeah. I mean, Janine Pirro is her. Look at Janine Pirro. Everybody's like, well, look, she made it.
She's checking her own boxes on that road to assimilation. You know what I'm saying? That her kid's last name probably won't be Gomez or whatever. I don't know.
Or won't.
But that is such a classic contradiction that the Europeans themselves have their own ladders of success. And so the failed Spanish empire basically is like, it's looked upon as like a lesser than. They don't speak English. And of course, the dumb whites here don't even understand that Spanish is a European language. It's not a language of that's somehow indigenous to this landmass or whatever. It is the conquerors who conquered other landmasses, who left their language behind or whatever. And obviously, because of her light skin and everything else, she seems to have not only some indigenous roots, but she also seems to have these European roots, and she's leaning hard on them European roots to try to get to be a part of, I guess, what she sees as something that matches her ideological background. And again, like the white Anglo-Saxon Protestant here in the North America, that is still the highest degree of whiteness that you can have to show you, and everybody else is a step below it. Doesn't mean they can't get into the club, but it does mean that when the club decides to close its doors and continually close more doors and more doors and makes this smaller circle, at some point it will get to you when you're like in terms of what Jackie's even saying. when they think the white Jews are no longer necessary, the whites who practice Judaism as opposed to Christianity, who are still whites. And again, I want to be clear, the European whites who moved to Israel, who had all of a sudden decided that they, or who moved to the landmass and renamed it Israel, who all of a sudden decided that this was their natural homeland, even though you can trace your history in Europe for hundreds of years and never step foot in Palestine. You too are expendable according to, as Jackie pointed out, the prophecy of the WASP whites. You are nothing but a stepping stone to them. But of course, since you don't believe in that, you're kind of like, you're going to take it as far as you can, because you like, this rapture shit ain't happening anyway in your belief. So it's all, it's all mixed up in there in this goofy way in which race and identity and so forth. But our friend Gomez is definitely plotting their complete, complete erasure of any history that's other than white.
What is the first go-to? Is it Islamophobia or anti-blackness? Because it really seems like neck and neck, right? When when people want to reach for a boogeyman or an enemy, it's like, oh, the niggers, what, a Muslim nigger, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, wait a minute.
Well,
we only got two categories to pull from. We only doing black and Islam. Like,
yes.
Nobody else is a enemy of the state. Okay.
In the context in the context of the way people have screwed up scriptures and used them to justify hatred of black people and Muslims. Yeah, that's it. Because a lot of this, like I've said before, a lot of this Islamophobia, particularly coming from these alleged Christians, these white nationalist Christofascists, some of that shit is from scriptures that were misinterpreted when they were translated, and people misapply these really crappy scriptures to people who they believe are Arabs, right? And are descended from a particular group of people. It all goes back to this ridiculous belief in the Table of Nations and how the descendants of Noah's sons are believed to have populated the entire earth and created all of the races and the ethnicities that exist today. Yes, this is what these idiot people believe.
But we the black people, aren't we the son of Ham? Aren't we Ham sons? Or is it Ham?
Yeah.
And we never have to worry. We're always going to be the top enemy. You know what I mean? Others, it's fashionable to hate the Muslims. It's fashionable to hate the Latinos. It's fashionable to hate other groups, even the Jews. There'll always be a space in white hatred and white nationalism for Africans. Always.
It's
always.
epigenetic.
Always. Yeah, it's going to always be there. Even if at times there's a little bit of a dip or somebody they're the new enemy of the day. We're always in that through line someplace, whatever like that. So we ain't got to worry about that. We always going to be hated by the whites. Always.
Not just though, you know what I'm saying? Everybody,
that's true too.
Everybody
not just
steps
white.
up and takes they swing. You know what I'm saying? They go the Valentina. Who else? Everybody want to step up and take a swing at black folks. It's like, come on, man. We could whip everybody. We just choose not to because we're nice people.
But this person, and reflects the role that Christian missionaries have played in advancing colonialism in the global South. She's a result of that, because there is a huge the problems that we're having with white Christian nationalism here in this country. It exists in the global South too. This is why people in global South countries are engaged in a struggle, not just against fighting imperialism and neocolonialism still in their countries, but they're still decolonizing every aspect of their society, including their faith. And they're confronting this kind of crap all throughout these countries. So that's another aspect of this that is very interesting. But
that's why I don't mess with religion, man. It's too patriarchal. All right. So with that said, let's go ahead and let everybody know. I mean, it's a man that
Okay,
runs
I'm sorry.
all of them, ain't it? It's God, Allah's a guy. I mean, shit, what is
Trying
the
to get off the
elephant?
screen now. That's just enough.
Oh,
But anyway, what we got coming up on Darker Than Blue?
not today, Satan.
What?
He was trying to start it. You saw him. You saw him.
First of all, can we please define religion as anything anybody believes in a serious and dedicated fashion? Anything and everything can be a religion, even atheism. And I'm fine with everybody having whatever the fuck they want as a religion. You go right ahead, believe what you want. I don't give a damn. Okay. The problem is always what people do with what they believe in regard to how they treat other people. That is always the issue. I don't care what the belief is. So
Is
there.
that what we talking about on Darker Than
Yeah,
Blue?
that's what I'm gonna talk about on
Okay,
Darker
cool.
Than Blue Friday.
All
Yeah.
right. Kim Brown, what you got going down?
You come hang out with me Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern time for Burn It Down with Kim Brown. We can't forget about Gaza, everybody. The situation in Gaza continues to deteriorate as if that was even possible, right? And I'm watching the videos from the folks there on the strip, and they are telling us, don't stop talking about what's happening in Gaza, because when we stop talking about it, then the enemy wins. So we're gonna revisit and talk about again the continuing murder, slaughter of journalists, aid workers, civilians, and funded and propagated by the United States. So we have to stop that, because everything that's going on there can and will happen here. We're starting to see that already. So yeah.
Right. And go ahead and join us back at 11 o'clock for Classical Breakdown, Wu-Tang Clan edition. And I will be doing Sundays, maybe. It's a house in the park here on Sundays. So I don't know if I'm going to be doing Sundays this Sunday. I got to go.
Why don't you do it live? Do it on location.
No, I'm going to be drinking and dancing and celebrating this house in the park, house music.
Oh, you're
all
not
day.
spinning.
Oh, no. I'm actually enjoying life. Yeah.
You didn't ask me what I'd be doing.
Oh, I was getting to you. All right, have a good day, y'all. This is the Remix Morning Show. What you got going on, Kamal? My bad.
Nothing. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.